Yep. Council is back in session, and we will move to new business. The first one is the item one is 2022 annual budget amendments, and Finance Director Beth Ann Rowe will be presenting. You have the floor.
Good evening, Council. Finance Director Beth Ann Rowe. What you have before you tonight is an amendment for the 2022 budget. We had on November 17th, we had the previous, well, we had revised the budget. And since that time, due to timing, some invoices came in and some other information that we had missed in that 2022 revised budget amendment on the 17th. And so what you have before you is correcting that, adding capacity on the revenue and expenditure side in the waterfront zone, and then also the transfer out of the one-time sales tax to bring everything in alignment. And so that's what I have before you tonight.
Councilmember Nutting.
I move to suspend Rule 26A in order to enact draft ordinance number 22-074 on first reading.
Do I have a second? Councilmember Steinmetz is seconded. Discussion about 26A and 26A only. Go ahead, Councilmember Steinmetz.
I just wanted to clarify on 26A, it's because this is the last council meeting of the year, and we have to pass the amendments now in order to have them take effect, essentially.
Correct. If we don't do this before 12/31, then we are risking a finding with the state auditors if we exceed our capacity, and we wouldn't be able to pay the bills, which we are legally obligated to do so. So thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Councilmember Nutting.
I move to enact draft ordinance number 22-074 relating to the municipal finance amending the 2022 annual budget adopted in ordinance number 1753 and amended in ordinance number 1765.
Councilmember Steinmetz. Seconded the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the second motion, raise your right hand. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. All right. This is a sole time for new business items that have not previously been before the council for discussion or a future agenda. This is not a time for questions about old business. Council members can submit questions or seek updates on previously discussed business to the city manager anytime. Do any council members have new business they would like to propose? Seeing none? Oh, council members.
My understanding was Councilmember Nutting was going to propose on the dealing up of the.
I didn't know if we needed any of that or if it's in the works behind the scene, but
Go ahead.
if there's anything that needs to come in front of council with what the chief and I have discussed and have taken care of with either getting supplies or whatever we need to do to get that in front of,
Councilmember, I think that that we're okay, and if we were to need that, we'll bring it back to council.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Simons. I appreciate that.
All right. We'll let that go. Okay, we're going to start with board and committee reports, and we're going to start with Councilmember Oxiger tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any reports. I just want to comment as I'm concluding my first year here on the council. As council members, we each bring our personal and professional perspectives to the city council. As a journalist and teacher, I firmly believe in journalism's goals to ensure that citizens are objectively informed and that the public has a forum to participate effectively in the governance of their democracy. When I say objectively informed, I mean that you, the public, are given measurable facts, data that can both be sourced and verified. Anything else is subjective, basically someone's opinion. This should be obvious if one recognizes the standard hierarchy of American governments. Citizens are preeminent. City council members are your representatives, and the city manager is their employee. Unfortunately, that is not how it seems to work here in Des Moines. This council has reversed the order. The city manager is supreme. The council's job is to bend its knee to the city manager's will, and you, the public, are told only what the city manager wants you to know. I find this a usurpation of citizen authority, and I find this to be insubordination. But as much as I believe the city manager wields undue authority far beyond that envisioned by our state constitution, this council majority condones it. And as the council must speak legislatively with one voice, my protestations legally amount to noise. It takes 4 votes to change the voice of the council. You will have that opportunity next November when 3 positions on this council will be up for election. I think you know which way I will be voting. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Councilmember Nutting.
I have no board or committee reports. I just want to thank everybody that showed up today to voice their opinions. I want to thank staff, seeing as though this is our last council meeting of the year. It's been a great year, staff. You've put in a lot of work. The judge, the police department, the road crews, everybody. The marina, what a tremendous job this year. And I want to wish everybody happy holidays, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Councilmember Harris.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to wish everyone a very happy holidays, and I want to give a shout out and particular gratitude to the engineering staff. I went over to the dark side from hardware to software at some point, and because it's, just, you get lured to having an undo key. But I think it is a totally exciting time. We're going to have to rebuild every frickin' square inch of this country, and to be a civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, to be doing anything with infrastructure will be a wonderful and just fascinating way to spend a career. And I look forward to our city attracting some of those people who have that innovative spirit. I want to just show my undying gratitude for the staff who, make things run. We don't get enough. Nobody, as a customer of mine once said, nobody wakes up every day and says, thank God that water came out of the tap. But you guys make the water come out of the tap, the lights come on, and thank you. There will be, Santa is going to show up at North Hill Espresso, and he's going to be bringing COVID boosters. What a guy. On 12/17 Saturday, please show up there and get a booster and a sandwich and free coffee and talk to Santy. I want to thank, we used to have public comment, or the council member comments would be at the front of the meeting, and now they're at the back, so everybody leaves. But again, the public is just killing it on their public comment. They're just really outstanding. And one woman spoke about being progressive, and I want to just say something about the hotel or the ferry or any of this stuff. Progressive means having the money to do things. When you waste money, $1 million here and $1 million there, that's the programs for the kids and the seniors and the community center and all the nice things that I would like to make happen. That's the money you don't have. And that's why I'm so stroppy about not spending money on things like that. And finally, I did take a very nice workshop today given by MRSC on land use, which just happened to coincide with this hearing, and it definitely affected my thinking on this zoning moratorium and these issues in general. And now that I have crossed over to advanced CML status, I would encourage all of my colleagues to take more of these trainings. They are incredibly useful. And again, happy holidays. See ya.
Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody that showed up tonight, even though most of them are gone, with one exception. And thank you for being involved in your local government. It's important to have that direct voice and direct contact with council. You know, we saw former Councilmember Bangs get recognized tonight. You know, we heard about Councilmember Nutting, you know, going and helping with the community and in the middle of the night, and certainly above and beyond what he would have to do. And you know, the farmers market and the ownership and all of the things that our citizens are doing, or different council members are doing, or staff are doing. There's so many good things going on in this community. And you know, as you go into the holidays, I would hope that folks would reflect on that. You know, there's a lot of misinformation and just junk out there. And remember the good stuff that's there. It's not all doom and gloom. So thank you all. Thank you to the community and the citizens, our staff, and my fellow council members for what you bring here at the table. We may not always agree on things, but we end up at the end of the day, we have a cross section of things to think about for all of us. So thank you. It's been really a privilege to have been chosen to come back into this position for the next little bit of time. So thank you very much.
Councilmember Steinmetz.
Just a couple of things to report. That last night I went to the Marina Tenants Appreciation Party. Our Scott Wilkins and Bonnie Wilkins and everybody else that was involved. It was a great party. It was a really nicely done facility, you know, and great chili. You know, that was pretty good. So thank you, and it was nice to see all the, you know, everybody that lives at the marina, that has boats at the marina, talk about their boats a little bit, and you know what they. Of course, I got it. You know, lots of input on plans for the marina. And, you know, because that's the big topic of discussion. But at least most of the people seem to understand nothing is cast in stone at this point. And, you know, lest anybody get the wrong impression, there's no plans that I know of that the city is going to somehow spend money on a hotel. You know, so it's going to get worked out, and everybody's considerations are going to be taken into consideration. And I want to wish a happy holidays to everybody. And being last, I think, you know, everybody else is, well, not last, because, but, you know, the city's moving forward. We are on the verge of accomplishing something that this city has been trying to accomplish since I moved here in 1998, and that is to upgrade the marina. You know, and there are a lot of people with a lot of different ideas, and we're all trying to accommodate it, but something's something's happening. I really feel like it's finally going to happen now. And I think that's a great thing for this city. If we're gonna bring ourselves into the 21st century, if we're gonna bring ourselves to be at least a local destination, you know, around here, and the ferry and the marina and a place to stay, and, you know, then hopefully the downtown district, you know, starts bubbling, and the, you know, the private landlords that own down there start selling or saying, gosh, we ought to develop something here and make more money on it. That's how it works. It all kind of happens at once. It's a big jumble. It would be nice if we could just plan every single step out, but that's not realistic. City is doing what they can to try to bring in business and get it going here and really move this city ahead. And I think that's worth celebrating. And I wish everybody happy holidays. I understand the staff has worked really hard on a lot of these projects over the year, and they've got a few more years probably ahead of doing that, and it's all appreciated very much. So happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Buxton.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I have attended some delightful gatherings in the last week, all celebrating the lights and the season, the holidays with our community, family, friends, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We lit the tree, most of these gatherings, a smattering of my colleagues have attended as well. Very, very fulfilling, really, to gather together with the community. Just an interesting little note, so I did go down to the pier. It was very cold and a little windy to watch the boat parade. There were several lit-up boats that came out of the marina and went across in front of the pier, and so I was out there visiting with a family and some just darling, engaging little kids, and we were talking about the wildlife around here, and all of a sudden, you could hear some coyotes howling from the pier. So we're all out at the pier. I said, oh, shh. You could hear there was a coyote howling in the beach park with another one over by Whalers Village. They were back and forth, and you can hear them from the pier. It was a magical experience with this family, and definitely memorable for me. So just one of those little fun points. Also this morning, I attended a legislative breakfast that was a gathering of, with the mayor, a gathering of South Sound Chambers and some speakers and so it was realtors, bankers, and mortgage brokers, business people, and quite a few legislators and council members and mayors from all over the South Sound. And it was encouraging and heartening to me to hear what these priorities were and the things that they were going to be bringing to the attention of our legislators. And for me, I say, it seems when I read from our community, I say, well, if there were 10 priorities that our community would want to talk about, the first 5 would be public safety. And maybe I have as the chair of the Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee, I'm always heartened to hear that. And so there was some good stats shared, and it sounds like there's going to be some strong voices in Olympia to advocate for our local South Sound communities. So as everyone else has mentioned about the holidays are upon us, so I'm looking forward to, I hope everybody takes some opportunity to meet with friends and family and give lots of hugs and keep us in special mind our fragile members of our community and our families, to give an extra call, write a card, send them a text. I want to thank you to the staff for, again, the hard work and how supportive, just even me as a council member, that you've been to communicate with me and support me. I really appreciate you. And my colleagues. And I say, I'm going to wish you what I say in this time is Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'll close by, this has been an interesting year. This is my last meeting in the first year of being mayor. We've had an interesting year. We've had council member changes. We've gone through a lot of fluxes. I want to thank the staff. Michael, I want to thank you. I want to thank my colleagues, and I want to thank the residents for all of their contributions to this community. When you hear the stories as the chief shared about Councilmember Nutting and various others, there's so many people that do things. Naughty over there, one of the last here, the fact that you bring snacks to the police officers, I'm sorry, but I have to say it because it's just a nice gesture. We are loaded with great people in this community. Just to touch on Councilmember Oxner's comments, I disagree with those. I think there's a collaboration and a conversation, and those of us that find ways to work together, proceed with an agenda that the city, we all want the city to be. All of us talk to our constituents. We spend a great deal of time finding out what they're after, what we represent of that, and then we go to business. So I appreciate all you've done. I want to talk about the holidays. If everybody forgets, the last couple of years they've been in COVID. There's always been protocols and everything else that have dampened celebrations. We were having some of the celebrations we haven't had in years for the first time, and it was good to see the community back out. I would say that despite that, be sure to take the proper precautions as you go out into the community with your family, friends, everything else, because COVID, the flu, as Council Oxiger had attested to before, these are all real things that can cause some serious illnesses. And I want you all to enjoy your holidays, and we look forward to a positive start to 2023. And with that, the next meeting will be January 12th, 2023 for the City Council regular meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have Councilmember Pennington and a quick second from Councilmember Nutting. All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0.